Hi, I'm Lori with craftroomtime.com. This month's subscription box is how to make rolled flowers. The box comes with all the supplies you need to make a shadow box full of roses. You'll also get additional SVGs to make other designs later. For more information to sign up, see the link in the description below and start learning how to make fun and popular projects on your Cricut today. To get started, we're going to go to Upload on Cricut Design Space and click Upload Image and browse for your file. You're going to pick the Rose Box Design SVG and open it up. When it comes in, it's going to look like this. It has everything you need, so we're just going to go ahead and click Upload. Once it's in, you just select it so the green box is around it. It shows down here in the little toolbar, and you'll insert your image. Since everything comes in all at once, it is all grouped. So we're going to go ahead and ungroup the whole thing. And then we're going to select which one we're going to make first or which one we're going to make at all. So I'm going to go ahead and select everything that I'm not going to make. And when you click on it, it's going to select it and put it over here in the gray box. Just click the little eyeball and it'll hide it. So I'm going to hide all these things that I'm not going to be making right now because I'm going to make the flowers first. Okay. Let's just go ahead and select all of these guys. And I'm going to go ahead and click attach. And so when it's attached, then I can go ahead and just hide it. Okay, so that leaves us with our leaf and our rose template. Okay, the template is pre-designed already at 4.826 by 4.113, and that is the size of the 1.75 inch rose that we'll use to fill the box. So you don't have to do anything with this, although you're going to want to create more than one so that you can put more than one on a page. So I'm just copying, pasting, and I'm going to flip it around so that I can get as many as I can on one 8.5 by 11. Then I'm going to select both of them, copy and paste it. I'm just hitting Control V. You can also hit duplicate up here in the right corner and then setting them together. Now what you're going to want to do is select all 4 of them and click attach. That way when you go to your mat, they'll be just like this. They won't be spread out across the mat. And then we'll go to make it. And as you can see, it's already pre-selected to fit on your page. It won't give you the option of an 8.5 by 11, but if you look at the 9 by 12, you will see that it is well within the border of an 8.5 by 11. And I will instruct you in the video later to move your paper over just a hair, like a 1/4 of an inch, just so you don't run into any problems cutting off this side of the design. And I could even move these a little closer as well. Just to show you how that's done, you would just go ahead and hit cancel. And then we would have to detach these because you can't move them individually until you detach them. Move them over just a slight hair. Select them again and then attach. And then go back to your make it and you'll see they just moved over a smidge. So you have just a little bit more room to work on. We're still within the 8.5 by 11. Still move your paper over just a smidge when you put it on your mat and you'll be good to go. Then you'll go ahead and you'll continue with that. For these, I'm using the medium cardstock, 80 pound. Because it is a little heavier, I'm going to go ahead and press the more pressure for the blade. And then you'll go ahead and load your mat and it'll start cutting. And then you're going to want to cut 2 pages of each color. So you'll have a total of 8 times 5 different colors. So a total of 40 roses. Now to make the smaller ones, you're going to want to resize the roses. So I'm going to go ahead and detach my other one, come back here, and then I'm going to select one at a time. And we are going to want this one to be 3.706, and because this is so precise, I'm just going to go ahead and type it in here. 3 4.706 and enter, and then change the height to 3.16. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy and paste, and then when for these, I'm going to rotate them this way, sideways, so they'll fit better on the paper, and I can get more on it. Need that to be a little bit straighter. Okay, bring that up to the top, and then copy them. We're going to do 3 rows. So I'm just copying and pasting for 3 rows. Okay, and we're well within our paper limits. So then you're going to go ahead and grab them all and attach and go to make it. And you'll see you're well within your 8.5 by 11, so you're fine there. Even if you did select the letter, now you can see you're well within the limit, so you're good. And then you'll continue, and you'll use the 80 pound pressure. Use the 80 medium cardstock 80 pound with the more pressure as well for this one too. And then go ahead and load into your machine and cut. And depending on how big you want your dress, you would cut as many as you want, flowers as you want to make up that. And I'm going to hide it for now. Okay, let's go back to all of our other designs then. Let's look at the unicorn first. So I went ahead and I attached these. Now, these are great to use for your scraps. I'm going to go ahead and unattach it, detach it, and then change my colors so I have them on the different mats. So you'll see. Okay, one thing, I don't know why it's giving me an extra ear. It's not on the design, but when I upload it in, for some reason, it brings it in. So you can just go ahead and ungroup it, move these guys off, and delete one ear, because it just should be 3. There should be 3 sizes here. Okay, so we're going to change this to, let's do the blue for the outer ear. And let's do the pink for the inner ear. And then blue again for the smaller one. Oops, I did those backwards. Pink and blue. Okay, so it's going to look like this when you put it together. Okay, you can make these all different colors if you like. I'm just going to make them pink. The stars, I'll make blue. And you can also use Snap Mat with your phone to change, to do all these just on one mat. You can also figure it out yourself and do it on one mat. But let's go ahead and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. Now, you don't have to attach any of this, but this is kind of what it's supposed to look like. And then your flowers will go along here. You'll move your pieces, the horn up, and then your flowers will go along here. So I am going to go ahead and attach, get that up a little bit closer. I'm going to attach the horn just because when I take it off the mat, then I'll know the sizes. It's a little tricky. They could get turned upside down and stuff. So that's just a little trick. Stars don't matter, that you can put them wherever you want or anything like that. Okay, then you'll just go ahead and make it. It should be proportionately correct. You shouldn't have to resize anything on this. Then you'll see how it comes out on the mat. There you go. Looks good. Then you just go ahead and cut using the same paper weight. Okay, let's go ahead and grab all of that. I'm going to go ahead and attach it just so that I can hide it. All right. Let's go back down to let's look at the leaf for a second. So the leaf, you just use as you want to. You could use it with the vase. You can use it on the unicorn also, however you want. And then just you can copy and paste it and make these bigger. You can even unlock them and make them narrower, just to give you different variations of leaves. Okay. All right, let's look at the flamingo. The body of the flamingo is what's going to be the flowers. This is already sized. You don't need to resize it. It'll fit perfectly on your 8.5 by 11 and give you plenty of room to put a couple rows of roses right here on his body. It's a pretty simple design. The only hard part probably is his little beak there and the little eye. They're just little pieces that you just have to put together. But once you cut them, just go ahead and look back here to see what it looks like, and you'll be able to glue them and put them back together. I do show you on the video also how to put it together. Okay, so you don't have to do anything with that one. All right, let's talk about the vase a little bit. Now the vase is sized to be appropriate on your 8.5 by 11, so you'll have enough room to do your roses up on top. So you don't have to resize that. It's a very simple cut, 2 pieces, and it has some designs that show through. And that's about it. So you just use your leaves and then maybe draw some stems, add your roses, and you'll have a nice vase of flowers. Okay. The next one is the girl, and they're already sized perfectly to fit on the paper as well. There's a little bodice here just because the roses tend to be too big and will cover everything here. So there's just a little bodice to make it easier to fill in your dress, and your roses will just be your dress here, and you'll design it however you want it to be. And that goes for this little girl here too as well. And then you can also put a little butterfly here flying out of her hand, or I just put a rose. And that's basically it. So you can pick and choose whichever you want to make. You have enough paper to fill the entire shadow box, or do one of these designs and you'll have paper left over. So now let's look at the video and see how to put them all together and how to make the flowers. Insert the flower in like that. Then you're just going to roll, and you want to keep the end of the flower about the same height, but it doesn't matter even if you go down further below, down like in this area. Just roll it like this. And you're going to roll it all the way around. Don't worry about how tight you're getting it, just so you get a good roll on it. Don't worry about the shape of the flower just yet. I'm going to do it all the way around. Just takes a little getting used to how you want the flower to go, and you're going to go all the way around to the very end, and this bottom piece right here becomes the base of the flower. So I've got it nice and tight and round, and then let go and it'll open it up. See, it's pretty simple. And then what you're going to do is you're going to glue gun the bottom here and here so that this all sticks together, and then that will be your flower that you'll use going around on your shadow box. Okay, when pasting your paper on your mat, just give it just about 1/4 inch on this side right here. The flower is going to butt up to the end here. It won't go over, but just to be on the safe side, just give yourself a little margin there, because Cricut gives you 1/2 inch here all the way around to cut for borders, so nothing goes off the edges. But just to be on the safe side, leave a little edge there. Okay, when you're taking them off your mat, just simply peel your mat back and remove it just one layer at a time, and that way you get it off very simply, very easily, just like that. and you're ready to go. Okay, so you see I have all the pieces cut now, and my roses are not glued down or anything yet. I just wanted to see how many I would need and how flexible they needed to be in the box. So I've got 7 by 5, and then they are on just sitting on a piece of white paper. So if you want to do the full shadow box that way, you can. Okay, you are supplied with the plastic frame, and this is just an alternative that you could use as opposed to doing the shadow boxes. It's a cheaper way to do this, and same effect. You'll be able to open it and change out your design as you want as well. So it's just another option that you can use versus buying shadow boxes. If I was going to do the full thing, I would just glue them down to the paper here. I'd probably pick one of the colors here so you wouldn't see white showing behind it. And then what else you can do is I've given you different designs. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to put those together. I'm just going to use some of my tacky glue. That's Aleene's tacky glue. That's the one I recommend. I think it's the cleanest. It's not, it doesn't ooze out, so it doesn't ooze out all over the paper. And it just is a good option. So I'm going to glue that down. All right. She's blowing a wish, so I'm going to give her room for, you could probably do maybe, if you wanted to make a butterfly or something flying out of her hand. But I'm just going to glue that down, and then what I'll do is I'll use my roses, and you can also resize them to be smaller, but this will make up her dress. So then you would just place them like this on her dress. I'd probably use the smaller ones. So I'll give you the sizes and dimensions for that, but this is all you're going to do. And just make a dress out of it. So you can see. So depending on how big you cut your roses is how big they turn out to be. So I'll give you a template for that to decide how big the roses need to be. But you just do basically a little triangle like that, and then you can cut a really tiny one to put in her hand right there. Or like I said, we could do a butterfly flying off. Okay, so that's one that you could do. Now here's another trick. Oh, well, let's just do the next one is this girl. So she's going to be the same basic design, same basic instructions. I'll glue her down. I'll probably try to get her in the center, I think. And then, so her dress is going to be, you know, too big for these flowers are too big, so I'd have to pick a smaller one, but you get the idea. So you can see her hand. Let's see if I have a smaller one, maybe a smaller one cut here. Just a little bit smaller. So that would be her bodice, and then these would be the rest of her dress, coming down however you want to make it, however you want the flowers to be, big or small, whatever colors you want. That would be her. Okay, then another one that you could do, let's see, it would be the flamingo. So the flamingo will take up the whole page. So I'm going to go ahead and glue him down, his body down. I'm in the center of the paper. Okay, now he's got a few pieces, so let's put him together. He's got his little beak and his little eye. So you can use the picture that I gave you to see what you need to do to put this guy together. It's a little tricky. Okay, so I'm using the Sure Bonder dual temp, so it does high and low. So just to get it started, I put it on high. And then here's another little trick. When your glue is getting down, just put a shot of glue on the bottom of a new one. And then just throw it back in here and it'll automatically grab on to that last one. So it'll feed. You won't have to worry about that. I'm gonna put it on low now, and then what I'm gonna do is going to go ahead and start using my flowers and gluing them down. Put that aside. So I'm just gonna lift it up the bottom here, just fold it back a little bit. And I want my flowers to be kind of loose, but you can twist them a little bit more if you want them a little tighter. And then you'll just shoot it with glue, the glue on the bottom so that it adheres to that. Okay. And then work with it too on the top. You have a little bit of time to work with it to see if you want it tighter. Just like that. And just hold it for a second. Okay. Now another thing you can do is just go ahead and put them in here. I've given you glue dots that you can just glue them down there without having a background. Or you can just put them on the paper and then put them in the little in the container. You can glue these down or you can use the glue dots that I gave you in the kit. Either way will work fine. All right. All right, so that's the finished product for the roses. And then just tack the paper down with the little dots that I gave you on the back, and they'll stay in place. And then you can hang it on your wall. And you can do some vinyl on the inside of this plastic or on the outside of the plastic. I would do it on the inside so you don't have to worry about dust and cleaning it. And you can also tack down these sides if they're poking out. And then just use a command strip just to hang it from the back. Very simple.